Thank you. Okay, so let's go for it. Maybe you guys heard some great stuff. I hope you met someone nice and new. It could be great. So just pitch it out. What made you feel welcome, or what makes a person feel welcome? Silence. Don't all jump in at once. I'm hoping to make a list so we can start thinking about it. Anyone? Yes.
Intentionality.
Can you say more? Intentionality. What beyond intentionality?
I guess one thing I didn't share in the group was when I first joined How to Change, there's this guy who reached out to me, called me 5 times, and then I was told I'm on a pay-as-you-go thing, so every phone call is 25 cents, so I didn't pick up anything. And so this guy spam texted me after, and he was trying to reach out to me. And so yeah, this guy's name is Felix. He's my mentor now. But yeah, he was very intentional to reach out to me and talk and have a conversation.
Okay.
That's what really eased me into.
So not intentionally being mean to you or trying to burn out your text,
not
but intentionally trying to connect with someone.
Exactly.
So someone actually, there's a saying that goes, when you don't just make someone feel belong, you make them feel wanted. Yeah. And I think you wanted to connect with you, and I believe he's a good friend of yours now too. Yeah. So intentionality in reaching out, in connecting. Okay, what else? Thank you, that was a great one. Yes?
Acknowledgement of their presence and that it is valued.
Acknowledgement of their presence and that they are valued. Thank you, that's very good. Sometimes what really helps is learning people's names. I'm not great with names a lot of times, so sometimes you just have to ask again. But intentionality, acknowledging their presence. It's a terrible thing to have someone you look at them and look away, that's not welcome. Thank you, that's great. Acknowledging their presence and valuing them. Anything else? There must be more. Yes, way in the back.
Non-judgment.
Non-judgment. Can you say a little bit more about that?
I think just having conversations with people and just not making them feel put on the spot or singling out things that you might find unsavory about them.
Okay.
Because you know what I mean. You don't want them.
So don't be judgmental. Don't point out flaws right away there. Sometimes if your relationship is deeper, but in the front end not so much. And sometimes those pointing out flaws are actually a vital aspect of a deeper relationship, but not up front. And when you do it, they have to establish an understanding that you care about them, you love them, and it is for their good. Just coming out front with the criticism, constructive even as it may be, is not the first movement. So non-judgmental. Yes, in the back and then over here.
Authenticity. So the people that you talk to, they're not fake and they're not pretending that everything's fine and they're not trying to
Yes.
be authentic and show who you are with you without feeling like they're faking it because they want to look good or whatever.
Yeah.
You feel like they can be trusted too.
Okay.
They're not gossips. They're people that really care, and then they'll keep your confidence in you.
Oh, there's a few things there. So authenticity, being real, and not put on, or at least try not to be that. The other one was, you said, keeping confidences. That if you're telling them something that is personal or secret, that they are not blabbing it to everyone else. Is there another one? I see you flipping a page. No?
It's my memory, so I'm trying to remember.
Okay, those two. Authenticity and confidence. Keeping confidence. And then Anna, you had one.
Yes, I think building on that, trust, an element of trust and recognition. So I think a thought that comes up, in group context, is the invitation to serve. And I think that when people, with worship, I think, for instance, in any community that I've been a part of, that people are recognizing that I have a passion for music, and then inviting me to serve in that has made me, and that element of trust, you trust me to play guitar sometimes.
Okay. So trust in a way where there is an invitation to actually participate and not just be a observer, especially in community. That's a great one. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else? Yes?
I said Alex on the mom said, it's not just like being with someone who is authentic, but someone who accepts you for being who you are. So
Okay.
accepting your
So
authentic-
creating a safe space for you to be yourself.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put on airs. Interesting. And I think it's good too because it takes time to establish authenticity, a consistency of character. So if that person is one thing the first time you meet them, but something else the next time, and then yet something else the third time, you're kind of like, who's the real person now? And you can feel unsafe because they're pretending, and then do I have to pretend too? So, but if you can be yourself and they accept you with the non-judgment thing we're talking about, and there's a track record if you keep on reaching out, if you keep on connecting with people, I think that's quite important to do. Anything else? This is really good. Something burning in your heart. Usually you get to listen to the Holy Spirit and they go, tell them, you have to say this.
Having a common interest or hobby, something that brings you together first.
Yeah, a
then you
commonality.
can-
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
then-
usually the front end.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you get deeper. Yeah. Something in the back? Derek?
Yeah, so when I'm with a group that knows each other a lot better than they know me, one thing that helps me is if they start like taking the time to explain maybe like inside jokes or events that
Ah,
or
yeah.
like, people and the stories that they know that I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing. How do you join a group that has already established history? Like, say, a church, and let's say a clique. Unless you're not cliquey and everyone talks to everyone. So this is quite important in the church. Thanks for bringing this up, Derek, where we actually explain things to one another. As to, okay, what was that joke about? Well, why are you guys doing this? Like having talks in the middle of your service. Well, I'll explain it later. But having conversation with each other and reaching across the aisle to people who are different, people who might be visiting. And here's the amazing thing. When you say hello to someone, it's the opening, possibly, of a much deeper relationship. A much deeper friendship. That's how you meet your best friend. For some of you, that's how you meet a spouse. I mean, eventually, that's not the first idea in your head, I hope. But, but the friendship comes first, just knowing someone. Just being a friend to someone or engaging with someone. Any other points? This is good. So make sure no one gets missed. No one gets left behind. So here it is, if there's no one else, this is what the church has been working on for centuries, if not for a couple thousand years. How do we invite people into the community? And here's an interesting historic note. When there was something called Christendom, where Christianity was the overarching sort of religious and cultural power and understanding, especially from a European standpoint or a Western standpoint, North American standpoint, the ways that these things got arranged was a little different. It was assumed that everyone believed the same thing. So by believing, you then belong. Does that make sense? But in our day and age now, where things have sort of shifted up, or when we do mission work or evangelistic work, or engaging with our world, we recognize that we have to invite people to belong so that they might believe. Because the general public is not Christian. In fact, if you ever read comments in news sites, which I do, they are completely toxic and anti-Christian, mostly. And if you're at school, or in certain situations, there is a denigration or a sort of downplaying of Christianity, saying it's a terrible thing, it's all colonials, it's all, they're all mean-spirited, they're all bigots. And here's the thing, until a person who doesn't know Jesus runs into a person who really does, like you, they may never know what a Christian is like, other than the caricature that's made of them. And they will never run into the real Jesus, because they're not running into real followers of Jesus. You know what the most interesting and important thing that a non-Christian person says to you is? you're a Christian? You don't seem like one. That is when you begin to break down the caricature of Christianity that has been built sometimes in aspects of our culture. And we need to be that people that is willing to be the real Christian in people's lives. So engage with your non-Christian friends. It doesn't have to be Jesus in every word, okay? Because then you don't have to get other words in that explain who Jesus is. But anyways, but it is about being your true self, even in your growing as a Christian, even as you're in your questioning. And you need to test this stuff out inside the church, where it's safe and where you can actually get answers. Have a conversation with an older Christian. It doesn't have to be your mom and dad. It can be like someone else, but you know that this person knows and loves God and has something deeper in their walk with God. So hopefully we can become that kind of community and that kind of church that is exclusively Christian, but is willing to include everyone and bring the message and welcome whoever comes in the door. And more than that, because coming in the door is not where it's at. The moment you leave this building, or sometimes there's people here too, when you go out, that is where the church is at. It is in the city of Vancouver, wherever you go, you bring the message of the Christian faith. And so I'm going to wind down with a simple prayer, and I'll invite Greg to lead us in motion. Father, teach us the complexities of life in you, with you, and in our world. Grant us all wisdom to invite others to belong, to believe, and to become your followers. Help us to foster that in ourselves. Welcome each other. Teach each other what it means to believe. And share our stories as we continue to become and be your followers.